Good evening, one and all. How the devil are you? Excuse me, I have urgent business to attend to. Oh, I would like to say it's the first one of the week, but it isn't. Not by a long chalk. Oh, I see Robster Boy's getting the beers in. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Robert. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Let's do the customary register. See who's in. Who have we got in? Oh, Robster Boy was in. Oh, I see you've been at the Christmas cracker jokes. I see. Then David Evans. Who else we got? Stephen Tatton, Johnny Random, Vincent Brennan, and Craig Stamen. How are you, Craig? Deco Dudes in, Pablo Hank Anton, Paul Trainer, our resident bass player, I believe. Malcolm Spillett, how's your missus, Malcolm? And who else? We got Peter S. And just a lot of conversation going on between the few there. Phil, Cal B. And John Ross, Yeti Goose Creature, the Essex Cat, Chris Otterwell, Sargis in, Graham Campbell, Cornucopia, Patrick Becker, did I say you already? Excuse me. 60s Man, Das Schaff, Ian Clark, the Geordie guitarist, Dave Pegg, and who else we got in? Colin Falcon, how are you, Colin? And excuse me, the chat keeps jumping. And Grandpa Joe. Joe, I don't know if you got my email, mate, but I just received that gift you sent me. I am touched beyond words. Thank you so much. It will be taking pride of place in a display mount on my desk. Mike's in. National Lager Day, you're on it, mate. John Robson Guitars. Thank you, Mike. Yes, cheers, mate. I am on the Carling today because I was too busy to get to schlep all the way to Aldi and get some Galahad. So I just got any old 4% brew that was on offer in Morrison's. So there you go. It's Carling this evening, so it should be a flakeful evening. Anyway, I saw somebody in the chat earlier was talking about the Beatles documentary, the Get Back thing, which everybody is talking about. I've got a video coming up about it, which is probably going to be very similar to most other people's videos about that piece of TV history, really, which is, I think, what it is. Has anybody else watched it? Has anybody, got any thoughts on it? I've watched the whole thing twice through, and I've got to tell you, if you're even just tangentially interested in the Beatles and the effect that they have on, the late 20th century popular music, then it's a fascinating watch. It's a slog to get through, I don't mind admitting, but it's... just the thing I haven't mentioned in my video about it, which I forgot, but I want to talk about now, is just how good the footage looks. It looks like it was shot yesterday, and it just, because it's just so high definition and so vivid colours that you have to keep reminding yourself that, no, this is 1969. This is, 52 years ago. What a great piece of television. And the other one I'm watching, actually, is the one that was suggested after I'd finished watching the whole Get Back thing. There's another documentary on there with Paul McCartney being interviewed by Rick Rubin. I think it's called McCartney 321. And it follows the familiar format where it's like interview, and they've got a mixing console there and master tapes of like old songs, and the kind of, McCartney singing, this is how we did this, and, kind of listen to the bass on this isolated, those kind of shows I find fascinating anyway, because it's like the same reason I like watching Rick Beato's "What Makes This Song Great" videos. Where you get a sort of, it's almost like you get a glimpse behind the veil of how a song was recorded, and I'm just always interested in that kind of thing. Let me put you up on screen there, Dave. I enjoyed your how to practice video. Wish I could do an hour at a time in a structured way, but my arthritic fingers won't let me. Yeah, well, I have a little bit of that myself, mate, to be honest with you. This cold weather isn't doing my hands any good at the moment. I have to even volunteer to go and do the washing up, do a sink full of dishes just so I can get me hands warm enough to play the guitar. And there's one solo that I recorded this week, actually, that'll be coming up in coming weeks on the channel. It's one of the Monday solo analysis ones, where I was up against the deadline to get it finished and my fingers just weren't cooperating. So I'm afraid I had to, for the first time in the history of this channel, I had to resort to a little bit of, let's call it camera wizardry to get it finished. But I own up to it, unlike a lot of people. So, excuse me, more beer. Yeah, I'm with you there. Where's that gone to? Someone just saying about, oh, there we go, Cal B. When Paul and John are facing each other in the first episode and creating, it's amazing to see the joy on their faces. Yeah, this is it. I mean, for anybody like me who sort of has seen several times the Let It Be movie, that Twickenham Studios thing, that period there, you get the impression that from the Let It Be movie that it was like a band daggers drawn and almost coming to blows. But that was very selectively edited, that movie. When you see more footage like this, there's a lot of joy and a lot of respect and a lot of love between those guys there. Thank you so much, Colm. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Yeah, thank you very much. I've got a pint here. I'll have the next one on you. Let's put you up on screen there. Can you give a shout out to Jason Carter? He's just had another operation on his knee and in a lot of pain at the moment. Get well soon, Jason, mate. Hope you are on the mend and back to match fitness sooner rather than later, mate. My missus just had the knee operation, and it was a long old grind back to recovery. She's she had it done in June, I think it was, and it was months. Like she's just about back to normal now, but that was from like a full-on knee operation, knee replacement. So I know exactly what knee operations can be to live with. So get well soon, Jason. Cheers, mate. You're very, very generous, Graham. Thank you so much. Dan's in Scott Guitars. Dan, I know you're kind of thinking about coming on and having a chat on the stream at some point. Just let me know when I've gone out of focus. When you fancy coming on, and I'll ping you the link to click on, and then you can join the stream. So just give me a shout as and when, mate. And there, I'm back in focus again. Don't know what happened there. You guys are trying to get me drunk. Believe me, I don't need any help. I really don't. What's this? Excuse me, I'm just going to put that up on screen. And it moved. Don't you hate that? When I find that websites do this increasingly. This, in that nanosecond between your finger going down on the mouse and making contact with the mouse and clicking on something, the web page just moves and you clicked on the wrong thing. That's my excuse anyway. You'll be out to focus after all these beers. Which of the knights invented the round table circumference? Yes, thank you very much. I'm here all week. Next Friday, if possible, says Dan, Scott Guitars. Yes, we can do that. The thing is, I can't send you the link until I start the stream. So just come onto the stream and just, kind of wave at me or shout at me or something, and I'll open another tab on the browser and ping you the link that way, mate. So we can do it that way. Let's get you on and talk about this wonderful guitar that you are building for Zoe's place. Dan is building a lovely little Les Paul Jr. style guitar for Zoe's place. I'm going to donate it to them, and they're going to hopefully, do something a bit special with it to raise some funds. Steve Lamb, sir, you are a gentleman and a scholar. Good health, mate. I'm getting all these beers. I better get cracking on finishing this one. Where are we? Hi John, I know you like Vanson pickups. What are your thoughts on Gibson PFA? Do you mean PAF pickups? Well, they are the source code, aren't they? They are the origin. The original PAF pickup is highly regarded because, well, think about how many, fantastic guitar sounds have been recorded with, a late 50s Gibson PAF pickup. Interestingly, the Seth Lover, the guy who, essentially invented, or, some people say he did, some people say he didn't. But let's say, for the sake of argument, he did invent the humbucker, which was then stamped, patent applied for, as in PAF. Once they'd got the patent, once Gibson had got the patent, people tend to think, yeah, well, they're not as good as the PAFs. Seth Lover always used to just, kind of chuckle at that and think they were the same pickups. It was just a bit of paperwork that said, something had been, officially documented. But, folklore being folklore, people will always go for the, the ones that have the PAF stamp on them. This is my fine paid for not using a metronome enough. Great practice routine vid. Have another beer on me. Thank you, Anton. As I say, you chaps are trying to get me drunk. And it's Friday, and I really don't need any help, but thank you for the assistance anyway. I haven't told you what's coming up on the channel this week, have I? How can I be so lax? Let me tell you what videos are coming up this week. No video tomorrow, it being Saturday, and I've got the lovely job tomorrow of putting the Christmas tree up and everything like that. Yippee! Anyway, so no video tomorrow. Sunday there is a quick little review of a budget semi-acoustic guitar. Michael, who I haven't seen in yet, maybe I've missed you if you're in there, Michael, the guy who's loaned me a load of guitars, has, he donated a Heartwood semi-acoustic, like sort of 335 that kind of thing, in black, very, very BB King looking, very Lucille looking. He donated that to Zoe's place, and I've done a video on that. That's going out on Sunday. Then Monday is the usual solo analysis, and so can anybody think of a guitar player that I haven't featured much on the channel? I did one video on him about 3.5 years ago, and I don't know why I've ignored this guitar player. He is one of my favourite players. But for some reason, I've just never got round to doing a video or that many videos about him. So I'll give you a clue. Curly hair, curly guitar lead. Sixpence. Yes, now you know what I'm talking about. So there's a Brian May solo coming up on Monday. Then on Tuesday, what the hell am I doing on Tuesday? Can't remember. What's the date on Tuesday? Do excuse me. I completely have forgotten what. Tuesday. Yes. Tuesday is the top 5 pieces of kit I've reviewed over the past 12 months. My favourite guitars and pieces of equipment that I've had in here, some of them are still here, to review over the past 12 months. Was a video I was always going to plan on doing, and then somebody suggested it on the live stream last week, and so I thought, well, yeah, damn, the cat's out the bag. Then on Wednesday we have another lesson style video, and this is one that hopefully you'll find useful. It's often said that the best way to learn to play a lead guitar is to learn other people's solos. And, well, yeah, true, but what do you do with, that Brian May solo, or that Eric Clapton solo, or that Noel Gallagher solo, or whoever solo once you've learned it? Because you can't, play that solo in another song, because it won't be the other song. So how do you adapt the licks and phrases that you've learned from somebody else's solo into your own solos? That's what we're looking at on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, it is the results of the blind test that I did yesterday. That poked the hornet's nest a little bit in the comments section, didn't it? But as well as that, as well as those results, you're going to be seeing me unboxing this guitar. Finally got one after many years, the Yamaha Pacifica 311H, well, you'll have to wait until Thursday to find out what I think about it. Then come Friday, we're back on the beer again. So that's what's coming up on the channel this week. Let me just see. Oh, I see we're all talking about guitarists that I've not paid any attention to. Lil Wayne. No, it will be a cold day in hell before I do a video on him. Is it too early to request a Steve Clark Def Leppard solo lesson? No, it isn't. Let me just jot that down. Steve Clark. There we go. Because what I've got at the moment is all of my videos up until Christmas are all finished, uploaded. All the Patreon stuff's uploaded, and they're just scheduled to go live as and when. So what I'm going to try and do for the remainder of the month is just try and get some stuff in the can for January. Because just want to get a little bit ahead of the game, basically. So that's that. I'll add that one to the list. John, congrats on your nearly paid off mortgage. 50-something owner of $1 million seaside estate. Very impressive. Yeah. It's not quite that, mate. It's a two up, two down, end terraced house in the arse end of nowhere in the northeast of England. But I like it. I call it home. Have you ever played a Gretch guitar, John? Yes, I have. I did a review of, and I always get confused with Gretch model names, but I've done 2 Gretch reviews. The last one, again, thank you, Michael, for loaning me the guitar, was, I think, a Gretch Electromatic. It's essentially the one that's the Malcolm Young guitar, but not his signature guitar, because it's actually got 2 pickups in it, and it's not all beaten up and knackered looking, but it's that sort of solid body Gretch kind of thing. Lovely guitar that was. And then, oh god, 2-3 years ago I did a big old hollow body kind of rockabilly style Gretch with the Bigsby and all that sort of stuff on, and was quite impressed with both of them, I have to say. No, it's not Swamp Ash, Dave. It's Alder. Let's have a count up. We've got, just looking at the body, we've got 1, 2, you know, they've matched the grain so well, it's hard to tell. But if we look at the end, 1, 2, 3, I think it's a 4-piece body, 4-piece alder body, maple neck, rosewood fretboard, which is increasingly unusual these days, you know, because, well, there was that CITES thing, wasn't there, with where rosewood was forbidden for a while. And you've got just stock Yamaha pickups, Alnico humbuckers and P90 and Grover locking tune heads and a Tusk nut. There's a lot, you know, of like brand name appointments on that guitar. You know, Grover, Tusk, Graphtec, that sort of thing. It's a guitar I've been kind of thinking about because when it first came out, gosh, when was it? About 2010, 2011, the Pacifica 311. I was like really into Strats at the time, but I only really used a bridge humbucker because I always put a humbucker in the bridge of a Strat, and I liked a nice big fat neck P90 or fat single coil in the neck. And it was just like I was thinking somebody at Yamaha's built a guitar for me, and I never got round to trying one out until like this week. And yeah, it's a nice guitar. I mean, back in 2010, 2011, I would have described it as my dream guitar, but you know, this is the customary part of the live stream where I show off Blondie. This is my dream guitar nowadays. I mean, I've got a lot of nice guitars in here, but this is always and will always be the number one. Beautiful instrument. Dan, you know, absolute artist, mate. Let's have a look. The more pickups I try over the years, the less I see the correlation between sound quality and price. Most disappointing pickups I ever tried were Seymour Duncan Blackouts. Yeah, I mean, both my favourite pickups that I've had in a guitar and my least favourite pickups that I've had in a guitar were both Seymour Duncans. I had, does anybody remember the Fender Light Ash Telecaster? They only made them for a very short period of time. Beautiful looking Telecaster. Like a real sort of blackguard, you know, kind of natural ash Telecaster looking thing. Figured bird's eye maple neck, abalone inlays, and Seymour Duncan Alnico Pro 2 pickups, I believe there were, in that guitar. Absolutely just the best Telecaster, traditional style Telecaster I think I've ever owned, but it had to go when we had some money problems. And those Alnico Pro 2 pickups in that were just absolutely to die for. It was a fantastic Telecaster. If you can get your hands on a Fender Light Ash Telecaster, just keep an eye on Reverb or eBay or whatever, you know, and you see one and the price is, you know, kind of agreeable, check one out. They are really good little Telecasters. I think the reason they stopped making them was because they were like a much higher spec guitar than the made in Mexico Tele at the time, but they were about maybe 50 to 100 quid less in price. And, you know, so I think Fender realized they were shooting themselves in the foot a little bit there. I think they were made in Korea, those. Anyway, so those were like really good Seymour Duncan pickups. Then I put a set of Seymour Duncan 59s into a guitar once, and they were okay, but just a little bit sort of meh, you know. And maybe they weren't the worst pickups I've ever had in a guitar. They certainly weren't, but you know, in terms of what I was expecting and what I got from them, it was just a little bit. Well, is this it, really? You know, I just didn't kind of bond with them at all. So there you go. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kevin. much prefer DiMarzio's rail pickups. I tell you who, if you're wanting a good rail style pickup, then, just to slam in the back end of a Strat, or they do a Telecaster version as well. Just those Artec rail pickups that are on eBay for like about 20 quid. They're fantastic. Alnico 5 magnet, and just like, I didn't think I was going to like it, because when you look at the DC resistance on them, they are like really hot, kind of over 10k. But they're not sort of fire-breathing monsters. You can back off the guitar's volume control, and they become like really dynamic. And I found that like they're still written. I had them in the Frankenstein Telecaster that you can see back there. That was the pickup that I first put in that one. And it was a great sounding pickup. You backed off the volume control and to about halfway, and you got like a really kind of classy vintage bridge pickup Telecaster sound, but without the hum, because it's a humbucker. I do like an EMG 81 in the bridge. Maybe that's the metal side of me. You know what? My Strat, my blue, Sonic Blue Fender Japan reissue, 60s reissue Strat that I had for many a year. I put a set of EMGs into that. I think they were the EMG SAs, and they were great pickups. EMG has this reputation nowadays of being the metal pickup, but back in the late 80s, when I put these into that Strat, they weren't thought of as being a metal pickup. They were just thought of as being an active pickup that were completely hum cancelling, and they just give you that crystalline pure sound, which is what I was wanting out of a Strat at the time. Okay, John, how about a lesson on effects with either modelling amps or pedals? May be popular with us learners. I did do a lesson on effects, in the last year and a bit, I think. But I am looking at a new effects unit, actually. Harley Benton have jumped into this kind of effect, kind of modelling, kind of pedal board kind of thing, like the what would be the obvious one, like the Pod Go kind of thing, or what else could you say it was like? That when your mind goes blank, but the kind of thing I mean, where you can load impulse responses and that sort of thing. And it's only about 100 quid, and I'm thinking, well, just do it for the shits and giggles. Just grab one, and see, I'm lucky because anything like that I buy, I can just kind of call it tax deductible. And by the time I've made 2 or 3 videos with it, I've kind of made most of the money back on it, and anyway, so I might just grab one of those. Let's just have a scroll up there. Somebody was asking a question. What is that pickup that sustains forever? It's called isn't it called a Sustainiac, or a Sustainer or something like that? I remember they used to come in Fernandez guitars. It's basically just an EBO that's built into the guitar. The EBO, those kind of things. It's basically a thing that works like a pickup in reverse. It's battery powered, and it generates a magnetic field that makes the string vibrate. So that kind of so you get infinite sustain. So I'm just thinking about I've always had a hankering for an EBO, and I've never got round to grabbing one. Maybe that could be a future review. We shall see. Has anyone heard of Dick Knight guitars? I can't say I have, maybe, mate. They've just released a pro version, but it's 250 quid. Yeah, it's I was looking at the just the basic one with just like kind of 2 switches, display, expression pedal to one side that you can also use as a recording interface, actually. So I'm thinking about that. It's pretty much a Moore GE150 clone, John. Well, fair enough. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good recordings made with those Moore GE150s, and I did when I was still using the Tone Lab, and I'm thinking, well, don't make the Tone Lab anymore. What happens if this goes belly up? I was looking at doing that, at getting one of those Moores as a basically a replacement for the Tone Lab, but obviously I went down the bias amp guitar rig route instead. Anyway, chaps, excuse me. Everybody get ready to shout flake at me. Excuse me while I'm just pouring this and reading the chat. Yeah, I see somebody's mentioning jet guitars there. Watch this space. You know, things that are going to happen in 2022 on the channel. Just saying, you know. Anyway, actually, that's not bad, is it? That's not too flaky for Carling as well, which is, you know, often, you know, you get sort of that much beer and that much head. Thank you, Das Schaff. Thank you. Dweezil Zappa has Sustainiac on all his guitars and the piezo for acoustic sound. Am I saying that right, by the way? Is it piezo? Because you hear, that's one of those words, you ask 10 different guitar players how you pronounce that, and you get 10 different answers. Piezo, pizzo, piezzo. I've always just said piezo, but, you know, there you go. Shits and giggles, are you having curry tonight, John? No, it's not curry tonight. It's curry tomorrow night. The reason we're not having curry tonight is because the wife's on the market tomorrow selling all of her jewellery. Check out her link in the description below if you're watching this on catch up. Doghouse Designs, my missus, and a wonderful handmade genuine gemstone jewellery. Come on, I've got to help the lass make a living somehow. No, she's on the market all day tomorrow, so she doesn't want curry inside her for obvious reasons, you know. If she's going to be nowhere near the facilities, let's put it that way. No, this evening it is, there's a new kind of burger place opened up near us called Cluck and Moo, which does, well, it's chicken and burgers, basically. They do like rotisserie chickens and that you can get delivered, and they do like burgers. And I'm having a burger called the Dirty Cow, which is like, you know, bacon and cheeseburger kind of thing. It's the size of a bus. You know, this burger is unlike a working musician. It could feed a family of 4, and I'm having one to myself tonight because I'm a fat bugger. Anyone tried a Dean Zielinski guitar? I like the look of the Lavos or Lavoci with piezo included. No, but I haven't tried one, Chip, but a very good mate of mine, if I just move this microphone, you can see there's that Sunburst Telecaster on the wall there, that Nashville Telecaster. A very good friend of mine called Joe in the USA bought me that guitar. Maybe you know the story about that. I won't rehash it this evening, but he bought me that guitar, and he has like a ridiculous amount of guitars, like a proper guitar collection, not like my kind of, like, you know, few that you can see behind me here. He's got like well into treble figures, I believe. And he's got a couple of Dean Zielinski guitars, and he really likes them. So, you know, and he's a very discerning player, is Joe. So if it's good enough for Joe, I would say they're obviously a pretty good guitar. Where are we? Let's just have a look in the chat here. What have I missed while I've been blethering? Oh, a lot of people saying flake. John, did you change guitars in that vid? Which video, mate? Which one? Oh, the one yesterday. Yes, I did. I used that video yesterday, the blind test between the Epiphone and the Harley Benton. You heard 3 different guitar sounds, basically. You heard like a crunchy kind of AC/DC Bad Company style power chordy riffy kind of bit. Both guitars were kind of going back and forth between that. You heard like a clean kind of chorusy kind of part. Both guitars were going back and forward between that part. And then you heard a lead guitar part, a high gain lead guitar part at the end. Both guitars were being used, one, then the other, then one, then the other, throughout that. So yes, you heard all 3 sounds on both guitars. And you'll see on Thursday, you know, what happened, because basically you'll just see the same video again, but there's a little kind of thing in the corner of me actually like screen in screen, kind of picture in picture kind of thing of me playing it, which I took out obviously for yesterday's video, because it wouldn't have been much of a challenge otherwise, would it? Interestingly, nobody has given me a correct answer yet, and you know, my bingo card is almost full, by the way. I'm delusional. I've had, you know, it doesn't matter what they sound like. I've had, I wouldn't be seen dead playing one. I've had all of the kind of things that were on the Badge Snob bingo card yesterday. They've pretty much all been, you know, filled in, and not one person who was, you know, kind of really properly chucking the toys out the pram. There was a couple of people in the comments section who were really sort of, you know, kind of moistening their tenor lady pads. You know, that not one of them has bothered emailing in with, you know, like, I think it's this guitar at this point and that guitar at that point, because, you know, obviously, I don't know, maybe they can't tell the difference. Just a thought. Let's have a look, see what I've been missing while I've been blethering. Any Les Paul players out there who've tried a string butler? Is it a game changer? I thought I was going to have to put one on the that Harley Benton. Where are we? I keep pointing the wrong way, but that Harley Benton there, the SC 552. But you know what? It holds its tune pretty well. That I haven't even bothered changing the tunes. I keep thinking about putting like a set of replacement tuners on it, just because I don't like the snot green, you know, kind of Clusen style buttons. If they were like white or cream or something, it wouldn't bother me. But I just don't like that kind of phony aging kind of thing. And it's, you know, I mean, the clue is in the name, snot green. It's not exactly the most, you know, kind of, you know, nicest colour, is it? You know, but I just can't be bothered at the moment. I've got so much other stuff to do, like putting the Christmas decorations up tomorrow. Did I mention that? Yay. It's, you know, untangling all the bloody lights and everything. Gosh, that's going to be a joyful experience, isn't it? But, you know, I've got other things to do. I've never got round to putting another set of tuners on that guitar, but it holds its tune, like, remarkably well. So I'm not really that in a hurry to check it out. Maybe I should. The thing is, what you need to test out the string butler is a guitar that is kind of, you know, where the tuning stability is a little bit kind of wonky because of the different angles through the nut and everything. But on that guitar, it's pretty good actually for, you know, it doesn't suffer from that G-string sharpness that you often get on a Les Paul style guitar. Before anybody says that's not a real Les Paul, I know it isn't, but you know, we have that's something that many people don't sort of, you know, kind of fully appreciate that in the UK we tend to use brand names as generic terms for a type of thing. Like we have a vacuum cleaner that's made by Dyson, but you don't Dyson the carpet, do you? You Hoover the carpet, and so you kind of carry. Well, certainly over here we tend to carry that through into naming guitars. Anything that's like, I think of this, for example, as basically like a Strat. You know, all right, it's not the pickup configurations of the Strat, but you know, it's of that ballpark. So you tend to think of it as that kind of guitar, really. Oh, Tubular Bill's in. Hello from the US. How are you, mate? Oh, Bill Guitar Guys on Carlsberg Special, awaiting a nice chicken kebab and listen to some great guitar music. Carlsberg Special. That's going to get messy. That's going to get a little bit. You know, you're going to be. You're not going to have any problems sleeping tonight, mate. Let's put it that way. Where are we? I put one on an Epiphone, and to be honest, I don't think it made much of a difference. Yeah, that's the thing with much as I don't like, especially like the kind of the old school. Well, it's not really the old school, but like the kind of until like last year or whatever, that Epiphone headstock with the sort of chipped off corners and everything. It just looks wrong on a Les Paul for me. I don't mind it on an Epiphone Dot or something like that because it looks in keeping with that style of guitar, but on a Les Paul it just looks somehow wrong. But the thing is, with Epiphone guitars, just that narrower headstock shape where the strings aren't splaying out quite as much, I've often found you don't tend to get that same degree of kind of binding in the nut. Hoover is a make, one vacuums the carpet. Yeah, no, we Hoover the carpet in our house anyway. Special brew and Merry Down Snake, mate. Pre-arrest, yes. Well, it's never led to an arrest with me, but no. Anyway, we won't go into that. Yes, but Merry Downsider, dear me, that was the loopy juice in the 80s, wasn't it? I don't know if I've ever told you. There's a little corner shop up the top of our street, and oh gosh, this is going back about 5 years. This is. I was in there one evening. I'd gone up to buy a few cans of beer on a Friday night, funnily enough, and this place where I live, Redcar, there's a lot of sort of contractors, kind of work here, and they're living in sort of like temporary accommodation and stuff. And there was a guy in the till queue in front of me who was like obviously a contractor. He had the high vis, he had the hard hat, he had the, it looked like he'd done a hard day, manual graft, and rigger boots and everything. Obviously, like a contractor. And he'd got his Friday evening absolutely mapped out perfectly because he'd gone to the corner shop. What had he got? A Fray Bentos steak and kidney pie, a big 3-litre bottle of that White Lightning cider, or that kind of stuff that comes in the blue bottle that's probably never been in the same room as an apple. Mental kind of cider, steak and kidney pie, big bottle of strong cider. What shall we call it? A gentleman's special interest publication from the top shelf, the kind of thing I mean. And he's buying himself 20 Benson and Edges at the till, So he's got his food, he's got his beer, he's got his fags, and he's got his his reading matter for the evening. I thought, no, there's a bloke who knows how to spend a Friday evening. Where are we? 180 watching, definitely cult size. Well, Cult is very similar to a word that's often been used to describe me. But we won't go into that. Frosty Jack's Ace White Lightning. Yeah, you see, for me, when it was that's what all the young'uns drink nowadays, isn't it? When they kind of when they want to get off their heads before they go to wherever they're going to. Back in my day, it was always Mad Dog 2020. Can you still get that? God, that was absolutely. It was like drinking Benylin. It was absolutely gopping, but it got the job done. My granddad drank 8 cans of Special Brew one Christmas, got up and fell over. That is the thing with Special Brew. I know this from personal experience, is that it gets you drunk from the legs up, because you can be perfectly sober up here with it, but then you stand up and suddenly your legs are absolutely pissed, and you just, you fall out. So it's a funny brew, it's Special Brew. Anyway, MD 2020 is still available. Oh dear me. I might have to get some in over Christmas. On the other hand, maybe not. Mad Dog 2020 and Thunderbird wine. Yeah, didn't see C6 Steve do a song about Thunderbird? Anyway, what have I missed? Going back. Just scrolling through the chat, guys, bear with me. Special Brew was made for Churchill. When asked by Carlsberg how his beer was, he said it could be a bit stronger, hence the old purple tin. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was made for Churchill. Man, it doesn't surprise me. I watched that film, that movie, what was it, Darkest Hour, where Gary Oldman played Churchill. And it was full of like magical Churchill quotes. It's the one that springs to mind is Winston is in the privy. He's kind of conducting business in there, let's say, and one of the civil servants comes in and says, "Prime Minister, the Lord Privy Seal wishes to see you." He says, "Tell the Lord Privy Seal I'm sealed in the privy and I can only deal with one shit at a time." Which it had me kind of absolutely crying with laughing. That anyway, Churchill was a functional drunk, just all day long. Well, a famous quote by Churchill was that alcohol. I've taken a lot more from alcohol and tobacco than tobacco and alcohol have taken from me. Mike's off, CGS, got to fly, mate, just prepping videos for it. Have a great weekend. Well, thank you very much for dropping in, Mike. I shall probably be dropping in on your live one later, if that is, depending on what time the takeaway turns up, mate. But I shall watch it on catch up either way. Cheers for dropping in, Mike. Have a good one. Excuse me, chaps. I'm running low on supplies here. Right, excuse me. I'm just going to pour another bit. Get ready to shout flake. I know you're going to. I'm trying my best not to make. I'm conflicted here. I'm trying my best not to make it all kind of foamy, but then again, I know you're all disappointed if I don't. So let's just dump it all in and see what happens. There we go. Still not too bad. Not too bad. I see Das Shaft, yes. I can always rely on you, can't I, mate? Talking another Churchill one, actually. I always say in the videos, don't I? Like, don't forget the live stream on Friday. We drink beer and we talk about music and guitars and whatever else crops up. Well, this is very definitely in the whatever else crops up category. The true stories, I promise you this is true. British soldiers who were in the the Burma campaign, they noticed that if they put like a condom over the rifle barrel, it stopped moisture getting in, and basically meant the weapon functioned better. Okay, and this kind of got up to fed up through the Ministry of Defence or whatever, and they thought, well, we could do this with all of the kind of ordnance. We could apply this everywhere. So they started ordering from the well-known manufacturer of certain rubber goods. They started ordering these big condoms to go over like tank barrels and kind of artillery pieces and stuff. And just like huge condoms to fit over like kind of battleship gun barrels and stuff. And they thought, well, what happens if some of these fall into the wrong hands? So according to this is gospel truth, Churchill ordered that all of the crates that carried these were said to be stamped with rubber goods for use by British armed services personnel, size medium. Which I just say, let them know the caliber of men they're dealing with. The famous Churchill quote was when the woman said it was Lady Astor, Dave, said, "You're drunk." He replied, "Yes, and you're ugly, but I will be sober in the morning." It was the same lady, actually, Lady Astor, who said, "Mr. Churchill, if you were my husband, I would poison your tea." And he said, "Madam, if you were my wife, I would drink it." He always had the comeback, didn't he? Britain was played at Churchill's funeral, so it's music related. Shortest World War II message, subsighted, sank same. Yes. I see we're getting into discussions about condoms now. I shouldn't have brought that topic up, really, should I? Let me just kind of go and mine the chat for something else to talk about. Pissheads of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your bladder. What else have I missed? Here we go. What's the word Thunderbird? What's the price? 50 twice. It rhymes, mate, but I'd be lying if I said I could see the significance. How's the badge snob bingo going? Yes, well, I've almost filled my card. Strangely enough, as I was saying earlier, not one of the people who were really kind of spitting their dummy out on the in the comments section have bothered emailing in to kind of claim their £50 Amazon voucher. Excuse me, windy pops. It's almost like they can't hear the difference. Do you use a compressor regularly, John? Yes, indeed, I do. Excuse me, I'm just going to pick you up here and move you over so you can see this down here. There's my working environment. That says a lot about me, doesn't it? The Sonicake Twiggy Blues there, that has a compressor on it. I use the Sonicake. Oh, let's turn you back around again. I use the Sonicake for all of the sort of walk-through, talk-through parts of the videos that I do when I'm singing. He's using this scale, and this is the lick that he played at this point in the solo. And I always have that compressor on there because it just gives it that little bit more valviness. When you're playing through a valve amp, you're getting a little bit of natural compression anyway. And whenever I record bass, I always use compressor on that, just because it fattens it up a little bit. And I always put, when I'm recording, I always put or when I'm mixing rather, I always put compression on the like the master bus thing, just to kind of, again, fatten the whole thing up. In terms of like using it live through an amp, I used to use a compressor as a clean boost back when I was playing live. When I had like a 2-channel amp, and I didn't want to hit the foot switch to go to the dirty channel for the lead sound, because I wanted a clean lead sound. I used to use a compressor, like, you know, that sort of. I think I've got it here actually. One of these Boss compression sustainer, just as I say, as a clean boost to just make the clean sound loud enough to cut through the band. And it's a great sound for country as well. You know, just you get a really fat, clean kind of sustainy sort of sound for like playing kind of chicken picking licks. It's good sound for that. Do you ever dabble into a bit of jazz guitar on occasion? Yes, I do. But I know the moment I put a video about playing jazz guitar, then it'll probably get 12, 13, sometimes even 14 views. So I've learned to kind of not really kind of do too much about jazz. I've done a few videos that are about jazz. I've just not mentioned jazz in the title, so, you know, just to try and kind of sneak it in. But I do like a bit of jazz. I'm Barney Kessel and you know, Herb Ellis and who's the other guy? Isn't it awful when your mind goes blank? But, you know, I do like a bit of can't think of his name. Joe Pass, that's him. If you want a great jazz guitar album, listen to Joe Pass Virtuoso. It's just him with, I think it's just an acoustic archtop guitar, and he's playing all these jazz standards, just solo guitar arrangements. And apparently he just like walked into the studio, sat down on a stool, played like an entire album's worth of material in one take, and that was the album done. Incredible. I mean, it's no wonder the album is called Virtuoso. It's a fantastic album. Check it out. I once played guitar with Joe Pass in a room over a pub in Ilford. Fine. Well, wow, is all I can say to that. Can't beat a bit of Wes Montgomery, says Craig Stamen. Yeah. The Incredible Jazz Guitar of Wes Montgomery is an album that should be in every guitar player's collection. Just, you know, just to listen to, you know, I mean, the thing is nowadays, right, you know, with streaming, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, whatever you use to consume music, if you're into streaming, just go and check these albums out, you know, and that is definitely one to go and check out. The Incredible Jazz Guitar of Wes Montgomery. Like, there's a fantastic version on there of, we're back to the Beatles again, A Day in the Life. You know, it's utterly incredible, and just the cleanliness of his playing, but it's not clean in terms of sterile and, you know, kind of lacking soul. It's just, he was just an incredible player. Check out Richard Burton doing Tears, Tail, Tears and Sweat. Excuse me, on YouTube. He's reading the text, but that voice. Okay, will do. The chap you saw in your local guitar shop likes jazz by the sounds of it. Yes. Django, indeed. You've got to have a little bit of Django. There's another great jazz guitar album. You know, Spirit of Django, Martin Taylor, came out in the 90s. When I did that, you know, which 90s albums still resonate with me, video a while ago, which there's probably going to be a part 2 of that because I missed a bunch out. That nearly made the top 5, but I can't remember what edged it out, but there you go. If anyone wants something to do tomorrow evening, Saturday, December. Let's put you up on screen, Dave. If anyone wants something to do tomorrow evening, Saturday, December 17th at 11, Saturday, December the 11th at 1800. Excuse me, I've had a few beers, as you can tell. Dunsey is doing a live stream Q&A on his brilliant Dunsey's Guitar World channel. Yeah, check out that channel, actually. I've subscribed, and he's a canny lad, is Dunsey. Good player, and let's get him a few more subscribers. Kenny Burrell, that's who I was trying to think of, Colm. Yes, thank you very much. And we've been on an hour. I'll tell you what, I'll just run over a little bit because I've got a beer here and I'm on a bit of a roll. Check out the recent album Plexi Soul by Tom Bukovac if you like guitar instrumental music. I do like guitar instrumental music. As I've said many times, my introduction to, the world of the electric guitar was hearing Apache by the Shadows as a toddler, and it was just like, yeah, I like this. And I've always loved instrumental guitar ever since. It's set me on the road to fame and fortune. Well, we can live in hope, can't we? Django is amazing because of his fingers. I lost my finger at boarding school. Massive inspiration. Yes. If you haven't seen it, go and check out Warren Hewitt's video about Django Reinhardt, Artists That Changed Music or something like that. Just Google Warren Hewitt, Django Reinhardt, or search for it on YouTube, and you'll find the video. It's massively inspirational. It really is. It was apparently, Django was, when Tony Iommi had that sort of industrial accent that cost him the tips of his fingers, that was, he felt like giving up then, because it was literally on the day before he was going to kind of finish his job at the factory and go and become a professional musician, that the accident happened, and he was so heartbroken, as you can imagine. And then his foreman at the factory said, listen to this, and played him Django Reinhardt, and it was like, yeah, okay, he overcame this, so can I. So without Django Reinhardt, we wouldn't have had Black Sabbath. By extension, without Django Reinhardt, we wouldn't have had Ozzy Osbourne. But there you go. Anyway, chaps, that's enough for tonight. I'm going to wrap things up here and go downstairs and wait for me takeaway. It has, as ever, been an absolute blast. Thank you to everybody who stood me a beer this evening. Massively, massively appreciated. As is the fact that all of you, 159 of you, 180 at one point, all turned up to watch a fat, bald northern lad talk cobblers for an hour on YouTube. There's no counting for taste, is there? But I'll keep on doing it until he gets sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.